Hey, Don here. Back again, another live stream on the Lenovo i5. I was trying to make darn sure I get it all backed up before I reformat it, and I thought of a few more things. So I want to make sure I've got my lucky backup profiles backed up to where I know where they are. They're probably in the system files, you know, from my home dot folders. I think you can export them. I'm pretty sure you can, so I'm going to look in there. My Firefox Addons, I don't want to use Sync. I'm pretty at least not initially. So I want to make sure I have a screenshot of all my add-ons. That'll be, I mean, I only have like 4 or 5, so I can just go by the screenshot. I've done that a lot in the past. I used to have like 10 or 15 add-ons. And I did it that way. Oh, and my Windows 7 partition. I want to see if there's any files in there. I was forgetting about that. See if there's anything in there at all. So let me get over here on the desktop. And so I'm just streaming from the Lenovo i5 again. And let me check the audio over there. Make sure everything's good there. So I'm just making the video on it again, and I already deleted the other ones that I did earlier. And I did have my supper and all that, and I just for a little while there I was asleep. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do anything else, but sort of woke up a little bit. I was really just very determined to at least do a little more work today before I quit. But let me see. Okay, let's look. I'll just go by my list here. Lucky backup. Let's see. How's everything doing on the resources? It's okay. Have to watch that. Well, when that Crusader starts climbing up to like, sometimes for a while there, I don't know what was going on. For a month or so, it would keep climbing, 20% or more, and I haven't seen it doing that anymore lately. So I think I'll be all right. But yeah, .config folder. There's no lucky backup folder in there. Okay, like OBS is right there, and it's easy and a lot. See, there's a whole bunch. Most of my apps, I don't know if I knew this at some point. I'm sure, but most of your apps that you have installed in your system, they have a config folder that's in .config. And if you wanted to, copy your settings and things like that, you could do that one at a time, or I just back them all up. But that doesn't mean you get everything. Some of them will actually back them up in like user share, right off the actual root of the whole file system. Like, well, I'll show where it is. No, not there. So if I go to USR, I call it user. I mean, I know that's what it means. USR share bin. User bin will have a lot of stuff in there. Sometimes it's the actual files that they run from. Local. See, there's some of the actual applications. Like that's a browser add-on application to go with that. And there's user local share. So there's all kinds of different places, and most of the time you don't really need to know that. User share, Skype for Linux, see, like, okay, there's lucky backup right there. Translations, so that's what's in there, translations. There's nothing else. So it's really, it actually seems as though in Linux, it seems as though everything is just scattered all over the place. And I guess, well, I don't know why it's that way. You could say, I started to say, well, with Windows, I guess because of the freedom, really, because the developers of applications can pick whatever folders that they think is going to work best for their applications that your regular user has a file permission to write into. So within these certain folders. With Windows, it's usually program files, and I guess that's the only place they're allowed to put them. So, well, I mean, you can run programs from the C drive. You still can. I know you can in Windows 7, and I guess you can in 10, but the general way that most programs go ahead and put themselves, when they install into program files or something like that, something to that effect. I think it's program files. I can look in a minute when I mount that when I mount it. I'll go ahead and mount it. Let's see. Let's take it from the top of the list and go down. Lucky backup. So I want to make sure I back them up to my backup drive. So first, let's just go back to videos on this side. Make sure I can always kind of get a glance. Since I already have it open, I might as well be able to go at a glance, see that my backup video is working. I used to have to kind of watch that. Sometimes it would quit making, you know. Haven't seen that happen in a long time. If it did, I mean, I don't think it ever stops and it starts back up again. I was going to say if it did and started back up, I would never know unless I never open those files unless I need to, you know. But get a drink. So yeah, my next video will be reformatting. Well, I hope my next video will be reformatting. That'll be tomorrow. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be quitting and getting a bath and going to bed. So I woke up at 4:30 this morning, and generally about 12 hours after I woke up, I'm usually getting pretty tired these days. So, and it's about 4 now. So, yeah, I know I'm old. I'm not that old. I'm just really it's my health is what it is. So anyway, I'm blank. Lucky backup. Okay, so we're gonna open up Lucky backup. Yeah. And I'll go ahead and open up the super user. And that SC Linux alert always comes up when you have to type in your root password. So I'll go to my profile that I actually had made in my regular user and imported in here. And I went ahead and I don't know why I decided to name it default Don, but I did. You couldn't overwrite default, so I guess I just wanted me to know that that's my default profile. Doggone it, even though they won't let me call it default, I'll call it default Dawn. So, profile, export right there. Okay, export that profile. Now, it's going to be the easiest way. I think home. No, oh, I'm as root, so. Yeah, I want to put it, if I put it in home, then it will, it's going to have root user permissions, I think. Well, I guess I can change that. What's the simplest way? I think really the simplest way is to write it to the Seagate drive, because I don't think I'll write it to it and see if it has, I don't think it'll have root permissions if I do it that way. And yeah, I'll put it in that little backup folder. That's where I usually put things that I manually do like that. So, but in the right machine, let's see. There it is. Lenovo i5 didn't open. Backup files. There we go. Oh yeah, see, I've already done this before. When did I do it? Lucky backup. When did I do that? Now here's the thing. I've been in there and I did not see. I didn't see that. I've already done this, I guess, recently. But I was in there just okay, so maybe let me go look. Let's go to my backup drive. Okay, now then, Lenovo i5 backup files. There they are. 0616 16. Why is the date wrong? Well, I was in there and didn't see them, but I can get in there. How could the date be wrong in a program running on this system? Oh, it must be the date I made those back. Yeah, the date I made. It really is supposed to be 16 because it's the date I made those profiles. Okay. It's keeping their dates. So, okay, it says everybody can review and modify, and the owner's Don. Yeah, and see on the backup drive, I think everything is like that. So that's what I was looking to see. So it should be good then. I don't have to do that again. I did it the other last week, I guess. I kind of remember it now. I guess. But well, I mean, it's possible that I did it back in 16, and it's been in that folder since then too. I think I'll do it again and overwrite those and see if it changes. Maybe it'll clear up my wondering about what's going on. Export, Seagate backup drive. There we go. No Wi-Fi, backup files. Okay. This one is super user. Yeah, I remember doing that and figuring out how to name that. Okay, I think it just wrote over. It either overwrote it or it made it, but put a bunch of extra folders in there. I didn't think about it doing that. Yeah, I guess I did do this the other day. There's the default done. Okay, yeah, that's all I actually need is the profiles. I don't think any of the logs, snaps, but that's fine. Okay, now it says 626.18. Huh. Well, let's just go ahead and do it again for Dawn then. Now I'll have to I'll just close the root user one and open it up again. I did this just the other day. This is coming back to me. So, see, and I named it. I had to name it, think about how to name it. It made me really stop and think. This one is, it is different. It does, see, it's not the same thing. I don't think. Well, I don't know how close it is to being the same anymore because I've made changes, over time. But Wi-Fi, backup files. Okay, now I want not super user, Dawn. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't refresh. You have to go in and out. Now see, Dawn is 626.18 and okay, back up default Dawn profile. Super user. Okay, now that's today. Okay, now I know I got my newest profile for sure. And that way I can import that. What happened? Oh, it crashed. Last time I had it open, it did that. the regular user one, I think. The other day, yeah, the other day when I was doing that and I already forgot. Yeah, okay. So that I did. Well, now I can make a little check mark by it. Did it. Okay. Whoops. Tried to write down the date. Because you never know. If things don't go as planned, you might be looking to say, what do I need to do it again, Firefox Addons, Win 7, Partition. Okay, I'll open up Firefox. And I'm just going to need a screenshot of my add-ons. And then I'll put it Normally I just leave it in the screenshots folder, but I think well, I can leave it in there, but I'm gonna rename it as to what it is. And there we go. See, it doesn't even take more than one page. It didn't even take up a whole one page there. It can all be done in one screenshot. It used to take 3 or 4. So now in this case, I can just do this, show the main window, and right click and say rename. Oh, 0626. I always, whenever I'm renaming them, I don't like to leave spaces. I don't really like the underscores just because I don't like the way they look. And I don't like leaving parentheses in a file name because some operating systems, some programs can't handle those well. And then I close that preview out of the program because I constantly do that because a bunch of them will really use up memory fast. Guess I'll leave let's close the browser unless I need it. Okay, now let's go to the screenshots. Yes, I will run Lucky Backup again too. After I'm done making this video. I've shown doing that enough times, no need to keep showing it, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just going to put, I don't really know where to put it. I'm going to, as far as, have good, quick, find it quickly and easily. So I'm going to put it in there. And then, oh, that didn't work. Had to be up in the window. Let's see. Okay. Put it in the documents. Let's see. What? Oh yeah, the documents folder doesn't have. Okay, screenshots would be better anyway. I shouldn't have. Do I have a pictures folder too? Sure do. Just some pictures in there. I don't know. That's the ones I didn't really want. Well, I've said that I go into that every time. Let's see. Of course, when I run the pictures, shouldn't be anything but just this one screenshot. Since my last backup, I'll take a look and see. I'm still going to run it. Yeah, looks like it. I'm going to do that to make sure I don't end up forgetting, like if I was to forget or something. There we go. So actually, that would be one of the first places I would look for something like that. So I guess that's good. Have it in 2 places. That other little backup folder, I'm planning on going and copying those things over to my, if I need to. I may just use it straight from the backup drive, or I might want to use my little SD card, and I can copy them over to it. But if I have them in there, it'll remind me to use them or get them or whatever. Okay. And okay, now let's check the Win 7. Now the Win 7 partition one, I guess one reason why I didn't think about it was I don't think I can go to it without mounting it first from the, oh there it is, 200 megabyte, 116 gigabyte NTFS. Maybe I can't. Oh yeah, I can do that. Just ask me for my root password. I always set up Crusader to auto mount, disk partitions. I get really partitions, but it didn't always used to work. But it seems like it seems to work a lot better now. I mean, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. There's probably some sort of little errors. Now the thing is, I had 3 Windows 7 systems, different machines. and I got some sort of virus that could crawl the network or worm, and it got into all of them as far as I could tell. And yeah, it did. Every one of them had something in them, some kind of Trojans and stuff. So one of them was really bad, but I cleaned it up I cleaned on it until I was thinking of saving it at first, and I cleaned on it several times. I don't remember how many scans, at least 3, probably 5 or something. And it finally came up, not finding anything else. But then I thought, well, it was broke. It wouldn't boot. It had to the scans, one of the scans or 2 of the scans or whatever, had to delete some system files. So I didn't bother to fix it because I don't really trust it anymore. And what's in here? Manual specs. I'm not worried about this stuff. I would really prefer, I'd rather have these folders scanned before I copied anything out of there, and I guess I could do that. I'm just looking to see Windows. Of course, I don't need anything out of there. Rescue CD logs. See, I scanned it with something. There's a whole bunch of logs in there. Hey, did I run it that many times? It may. Sure. Let's see. 12/29/17. That might be the same scan or something. Then 6/14/18. 6/14/18. Let's see, Windows. I don't know why there's a documents folder that's out all by itself like that. There's downloads folder. I don't need any of that stuff. Definitely not off of a system that was, that was infected. For all I know, there's something in there that I'm pretty sure it was a webcam app from some old. I was trying out about a bunch of webcam apps one day on my laptop, my Dell 1525 laptop, and the VAST popped off and says, "Oh, bad, virus," and I was installing them, and I'd forgot at the very beginning there. I guess I forgot. I always, usually right-click and scan them before I open them, even though even though they were safe when I downloaded them. Sometimes things they had vulnerabilities. Files have vulnerabilities, and something comes along and can crawl into them. Or sometimes they have what do they call them? I can't think of the right word, but time bomb. Basically, they go off at a certain time. It could be months or years in the future, and they just sit there idle until then. So it could be something like that. But anyway. It said it got it, but I don't ever just trust that. I learned that a long time ago, and so I started scanning, and sure enough, the more I scanned, the more mess I found, and the more machines I scanned, I found out I was in real trouble. And so I didn't fix it because I was tired of messing with it. I just ended up. This is the only one that's actually still on a drive. The rest of them are just gone, reformatted. The Windows 7 systems. Yeah, see, all of this stuff, this is, I don't remember Windows 7 being like that, but like there's programs, there's all kinds of things that aren't inside of, like program files or whatever. And of course, there's Windows right there. I don't remember it being like that, but maybe it was. Program files, that's where I thought almost all programs were now. Not too many in there. Yeah, I didn't have a heck of a lot on it. I set it up and then really never used it. And that's what really aggravated me and worried me, is that it got infected. Backups. What is that? FilePuma.com. What is that? I can't remember if I decided that I didn't really like that trust that anymore. total media recordings. Well, there's nothing in there. Huh. Now there are documents and settings. See, that's where I thought everything was going to be. The documents, my pictures. Now there could be some stuff in there. That kept popping into my head. I don't really want to open them. The files themselves, just in case. I really didn't worry all these years until recently. I really didn't worry about it opening files in a Windows, on a Windows drive in my Linux system because because they couldn't hurt it. But now there are things that are cross-platform malware. So, I don't really want to open them. Space games. I was going to say, what? Is that from malware? But no, that is actually my CamSpace games. I don't know why that's how they did it, but there was a webcam app that you could use. It wasn't a game, but this outfit was, I guess, mostly did games, software. And it was some free software, and it was really cool. You could plug in your webcam and install this software, and then you could tell it to recognize pretty much any object you want to be your mouse, your control device. You could use a pen, you could use your head, your nose, your finger. It was aimed at helping people with disabilities, and it really worked pretty well. I actually discovered it during the time, for XP. Was written for XP, but it did run on Windows 7 too. So evidently I put it on there at some point. Yeah, there's a lot of documents in there. A lot more than I remembered having in there. Broadcom driver for the Dell laptop. I have some stuff that I don't know why it's on there. This is not the Dell laptop. Sometimes I did. I don't know. I might have just flat synced all that stuff from the Dell laptop to that drive at some point, just because it was convenient to do it, just to back it up, Yeah, there's videos in there that I don't know whether I have backups of them or not. So, I guess I'm going to have to scan this with ClamAV. I entered my mind quite a few times, I think, and I just put it out of my head. I thought, well, I don't want that stuff, But I don't like losing personal files that I might, like some of them I can see right there. That's just a couple of my songs that I recorded. I sang and friends played the music, and they're just on there. It's not like the whole albums or anything. There's nothing in the audio mic recordings. So I ain't done backing up yet. As a matter of fact, I ain't done scan. I didn't want to do any more scanning. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to need to do though is leave that drive. Only way to do it really is just to scan the whole drive. It takes longer to do that, but it takes so darn long to pick and choose too. Plus, well, I don't know. Well, let me see. I still don't know why there's an extra documents folder on there. I must have just copied that. Like I said, I must have been backing something up, and I did that. I might have been in Windows 7 and decided I wanted to back up that laptop. That's what I'm starting to guess, is I was in Windows 7. I decided I wanted to back up that laptop, and I'm going to move it over there. Let's see. So I can do that. And just back it. I said, oh, well, those Windows files, I might as well just back them up over to, I might have thought, well, I might want some of those programs. So that is the system, though. The only thing left is there's a boot. I saw there's a 200 megabyte hard disk NTFS. That would be the boot drive, which I don't believe I need anything out of. I'll look in it and see. I'm trying to remember how I actually installed it. Yeah, it's just system volume information and recycle bin. There's really nothing in there. Okay. And that's the one I'm interested in. Okay. So, I'll be darned. Glad I checked. But it's actually kind of a disappointment that there's actually something in there I might care about. Because now I got to do that scan. But let's go ahead and do it. Let's see. Oh, I probably should do it as a root user because I might there might be some file I don't have permission to scan or delete or whatever in there. And if I do it as root user, so I'm going to just close it and open it up as root. Now it'll be running in root and regular user, and I don't like that. But I don't like it because I swear there was a time when I could say quit and it would quit. But it won't. I don't know. Maybe it was in root mode it would quit or something. It certainly won't quit when you open it in. And I mean, I guess it's okay. Well, it's not really of any use because, well, I mean, it would be if you could get AutoScan to work. Or, let's see, I don't think there is now. There's AutoScan, but there's no real-time mode, I don't think. There might be some real-time stuff that you could turn on if you could get all that to work, but I've never been able to get it to work. Okay, so let's open me up a terminal here. That's what I was. You see, that's why I. Pain over checking everything before I reformat, because I know there's all those things that I might have forgotten. There's always that point where you're just going to have to say, okay, I'm done. And you know there's probably something one day you'll wake up and go, oh, dang it. You know. But as long as it's not something really important, at least, you know. Let's look at the updates. Yeah, it's already updated. I think when the regular one updates, I think it's you know, it's available to the root version as well. So let's see if there's anything in quarantine. Nothing in there now. That way I'll know, you know, that it's not something old in there. I used to leave things in there so that in case I wanted them back, and but it gets confusing because you're like, you know, you have to look at the dates and pour over it. When did I put it in there? And is it something that I might ever want or not, and everything. So I don't leave stuff in the quarantine. I either take them out if I'm going to keep them or delete them. Okay, now got to go to. Let's see. Now, see, used to everything was either an MNT mount or media that mounted, but now it's run. It's been that way for years now, and it still bugs the heck out of me. Run media. Media is not there unless there is something mounted, though. That folder won't even be there. And done. Okay, now I don't want to scan the whole backup drive, so I'm going to have to, well, I can just open it up, and the one that has Windows and everything in it will be it. This is it. Let's make sure, but it's going to have Windows. There it is, Windows. Now I can just, you know what? There really isn't much sense in scanning all these. I want documents and settings. documents. Okay, let's just pick and choose this time because no sense in scanning that absolute complete system. Backups. Boot. I had some ISOs in there to try to boot to them. With Grub 2, you could boot. I don't need that. You could boot straight to ISOs for a while until they kind of changed them up. Well, you can still with some, but not with Fedora. You could boot straight to a Fedora ISO with Grub 2, just with Grub 2. You could just put it in a boot dash ISOs, and Grub 2 could find it and boot it. I guess there's none in there, but I could scan the folder. Well, I would, if they've been on there, I don't really want them anyway. I don't know what's in there. Oh, there's something in there. Free software downloads. That right there, that is I think that's a Thunderbird. Oh, it could be a Firefox profile. That's probably a Firefox. And what's the file Puma? Yeah, that's a back. That's part of Glare Utilities. That's what they use for where you can find your backups for your apps on your system and then download them. And it's fine. It's good. But at one time I did get something that was had some malware in it. I think it was like just really pushy adware more than real malware. I think it was a what they call it, adware Trojan. I think it was something like that, not an actual. And then documents, that's that one that just has a couple of things. Documents and settings, that's going to have, all that. Okay. Downloads, I don't really want those, I don't think. Let's just scan them anyway. Drivers, those could be very useful for this system if I ever put Windows back on it again. I don't know if they have an installer actually. Ingenuity, that's OBDI software. That's why I thought there's no sense in picking and choosing, I'll just miss something. But if I'm careful, because there is an awful lot in there to waste time scanning that I know I don't care about. First I was thinking, well, that's a thought. If I don't scan the whole drive, what if some of it can crawl around when it sees access? You'd be amazed at how tricky some of this malware can be. Yeah, when it sees, you might access something in one folder and it might jump into another. Or what I'm thinking is it could, something in one of the folders I'm scanning could trigger something that's actually in one of these other folders. But if it's not scanned and deleted, then it could still be a threat. So, which one is the one I'm in? This one here. Yeah. I'm going to scan the whole thing because what I'm going to do, it's going to take long enough that I'm going to, I believe this number here, that is that's that boot drive. I'm going to scan it too. I want to see if anything comes up in any of them. The one I don't want to do is, Seagate backup drive. Okay, it's showing up by its right name, and I don't want to scan anything else. I don't want to. I'm not even going to. I mean, I've scanned my home directories and all that so many times now. So I'm not going to scan any of that stuff. Just want to scan. Now that I realize I really do have some files in there, I'm going to be wanting. I know there's at least some in there. Yeah, I'm just going to let it scan the whole thing. That way I will know how, whether that thing still had anything lurking around on it or not. And what I remember is I did get it cleaned out. But, like I said, time bombs and things like that. Before, since it'll just be good to know that. Plus, I'll feel, if I scan every inch of those drives, then I'll know that my... Yeah, that'll be fine. I was sitting there thinking, okay, what if whenever the scanner hits some of this stuff, if it could actually jump into my NTFS. That's one thing about having an NTFS backup drive. Most of this stuff can't write to a Linux file system. That's one of the main reasons why it can't infect the Linux file system. Not just, it can't run on the system as one thing, but the other thing is it can't even write to the Linux file system because Linux programs, Windows programs, most of them don't know how to write to a Linux file system, or they didn't. I'm sure there's plenty of them that can now, though. But anyway, NTFS file system, they can all write to that, and that's what that Seagate backup drive is. So, and there are plenty of Trojans that can, there are some that can plant themselves in your master boot record of your hard drive, which is all hard drives have. Usually, what I do when I reformat, note to self, when I reformat, make sure that I rewrite the MBR. I'm writing that down. I think that installing the way that Fedora installs, I think it does that. I'll make sure. I won't have to do it manually. I've done it before in the past, manually. Just do it before just go ahead and delete all partitions and rewrite the MBR and then start, I'll have to check. Let's see. If I think about it, I think I already know what it does. Yeah, when it writes the Grub bootloader, I think it rewrites the, let me see this. Well, it depends on where the Grub bootloader's installed. Okay, it's not installed in the MBR. There's a portion of it. I may have to go look that up or something. How it's done with Grub, this newest version of Grub 2. Yeah, since I am doing this, number one reason I'm doing this, let's go ahead and get that scan started. Number one reason I'm doing this reformat is to make sure I don't have malware on this system. I'm waiting for it to get good, and if you wait for that calculating, it'll take a long time when you got a lot of files like that. But I want to if you try to click it too soon, it won't respond, and it even can hang it up. So that should be long enough, I think. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, does Fedora? I wish I could just go to that Fedora website and ask that question and find it real quick. Yes. So it's working away. It's a pretty fast scanner, really. I thought about scanning that drive several times, but I thought, no, I don't want nothing on that drive. But I had not bothered to go look and make sure. Now I see that there's files on there that I have no idea whether they could be the only copy that I made them, on that system, like some of those videos and stuff. And I don't like to lose my videos, even if there's not much to them, So, yeah, I'm not done backing up yet. I don't know if I really need to be logged in. This is something that I guess I'm going to give in and let the system keep the cookies, because once I reformat, it's just driving me nuts having to log in every time I get on Google or whatever page it is. Relog in. It doesn't auto-log you in without the cookies. Ever since I stopped saving making it delete cookies every time I close Firefox. It seems to randomly do it when I have not closed Firefox too. Okay. I'm going to just ask the question on Google. Grub 2. Let's see if I can find anything about MBR. Okay. Force the installation program to install partition information into the GUID partition table GPT instead of a master boot record. This option is meaningless on I always get it wrong. UEFI. I always say EUFI. I think based systems unless they are in BIOS compatibility mode. Okay. Normally BIOS based systems and UEFI based systems in BIOS compatibility mode will attempt to use the MBR schema for storing partitioning information unless the disk is larger than 2 terabytes. Using this option will change this behavior, allowing GPT to be written even to disks smaller than 2 terabytes. Okay. So tired right now, really, that just a very little bit of that sunk in. But that's good information, though. Okay. Yeah, well, I want it to install it to the master boot record. So this is in the advanced install option. So inst.gpt. Yeah, okay. It's going to install. I remember something about the GPT or some weird letters like that when I was installing Windows 7. And you had to do all that stuff. I kept getting hung up. I don't remember which system it was, but different systems have some. I think this Lenovo i5 might have been the one that gave me the trouble because it has the UEFI. And actually, I think what gave me the trouble was, well, I remember it seems like on one system I had to put it in BIOS, what do they call it, BIOS compatibility mode or whatever they call it, yeah, BIOS compatibility mode. And on another one, like say maybe even this one, I'd put it in there and nothing would work right on the install, and I'd turn it off. Don't put it in that. Just leave it in the normal. And everything worked fine. And Fedora works with UEFI, but I remember one thing. I'm not using that. I'm not using UEFI on anything that I have now, I don't think. And I think I tried using it and because I thought I had to for Windows 7 or something, and I just had nothing but trouble, and I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, I think it was this system. Anyway, and it probably had to do with all that right there. GPT, that really sounds familiar. GUID partition table. Anyway, yeah, I want it to install. Okay, yeah, so when it installs partitioning information, it's going to normally be in the master boot record, MBR, and that's what so that'll be overwritten. There won't be any, if there was anything that got in there bad, then it'll be overwritten. The last time I read anything about anything that could do that, it was during during time of systems that ran XP. And it may be that the hard drives have been upgraded, even the ones I have are upgraded enough that that malware can't do that anymore. But of course, they always find a new way to do that stuff, Okay, Grub 2. Let's see. There's something. Well, okay. Good to install a bootloader, usually in the MBR. Yeah. in the free partition space and as files in boot. The bootloader is installed with something like grub install dev SDA. Oh, okay. So yeah, that I was really that's what I kind of thought, but I couldn't remember for sure. Grub installs its bootloader in the MBR. Okay, and that's the only place it's mentioned there. Okay. Yeah, and then in the free unpartitioned space and as files in boot. And it's usually a boot folder on your absolute root of your system. There's a boot folder. If I can get, I forgot I have plenty opened up here. Better watch out while I'm making my video. See what I got. What I'm doing to it. See, everything's kind of slowing down. Because I got the virus scan and I got all this other stuff open. I'll close Crusader right quick. But what I mean is not the root folder, but the root directory, and then root boot right there. I can't go. You can't go. Yeah, you can. You can go in there, but you can't change any of the files unless you're a root user. But this is what they're talking about right here. It also has your. You see, it has your these firms IMG, VM, UZ. This is all the stuff that boots your system, or a bunch of it anyway. Those are your, I guess those are what I think what you call the boot images. So anyway, go back to. Oh yeah, that's where I wanted to be. See, there's a boot folder in there, but that's Windows. That's a whole different thing. That's different. And then what I had put on there, where is that? Boot ISOs. Yeah, there's a, I got to where nothing would work, and so that's the only one that would work. BFO, bootfedora.org. That will boot you to whichever you choose Fedora live system, and you can install from it, or just an installer from bootfedora.org over the network, over the internet network. It's really slow. It takes forever to load one up, but if you got enough memory, I don't know, I guess 2 gigs enough. It used to be, but nowadays you're probably going to need 3, 4 gig and up. And you know, for processors, of course, if you've got that many gig of memory, you probably have a pretty decent processor and everything, enough cores and everything. But see, is that the Windows system? Yeah, program files. Okay, so anyway, that would boot. I remember that now. Okay, so there we go. That right there, I'm just gonna. Oh, well, that means I'm gonna have. I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyway. That means I'm gonna have to back up my. Trying to figure out how to put this in here in a way that I'll ever find it again, but I will have to back up my it doesn't really matter if it's Fedora. There. I'm going to leave it like that. I'll have to back up my bookmarks again. So I'm trying to get all my backing up done. And then I go, and so I tried not, like earlier today, while I was eating, I made sure I didn't, I didn't tool around and watch any videos on this system. I did them on the AS Rock. It's crazy. Yesterday I got so hot I was sick, and today I've got that thing running just in case I wanted to use it as the backup stream. I have it all set up. I didn't start the stream. I just thought, well, I can start it like if I get ready to switch. But it's 76.1 in here, and I'm chilly with all these same machines running that I got so hot and sick yesterday, just yesterday running. I guess, I mean, I didn't go in there and look and see what the air conditioner was set on. Maybe it was set higher, you know, at a higher temperature. Yeah, and see, when you mount these partitions, see, now they show up on the desktop, the boot partition for Windows and the system drive, you know. That's how I had done it. Pretty much just divided this hard drive up in half for, you know, Fedora 23 and Windows 7. But now it's just going to be Fedora 23 or 28, and I'll have plenty of space. It won't fill up too quick. It filled up too quick, and I've been fighting. What the bad thing is, your root partition starts getting full, and then you can't use the system anymore. I got to where I had like 3 gigabytes. Well, I got down to, like, it said you have no space left, and I had to delete stuff. I mean, in order to clear up space on your root partition, you pretty much just have to uninstall programs and stuff. I mean, you can, well, not have. First, you can go and use, let's see, do I have that up there? There's a couple of cleaning apps that I use. And see how that's doing. Let's see, it's got something. Oh, heuristics broken executable, just the normal stuff so far. That's not going to be, well, this is in Windows though. Okay, now this is to that point to where, okay, maybe I will delete those because that's total commander. They're probably alright, but since I don't care one way or the other if the system runs, anything, if it's a broken executable, broken dill files, usually are infected. Used to be. I mean, how would that change, right? Usually you could say, oh, that's a false positive, but usually you find out, in time past, I found out, no, they weren't. They were infected. So those will probably go ahead and, I'll click it on Organize by name of problem found. But total CMD, that's total commander. My favorite Windows file manager. It's just like it's the one I learned twin panel file managers that I loved them, and I used it for all those years until I got on Linux, and then I looked and found there was one called Genome something that was twin panel, and I used it at first, but it didn't work as good. It didn't have all the features that Total Commander had, and then I discovered Crusader, the one I use all the time. And it has all those features and many more. Well, maybe not many more, but all the features of Total Commander and more. You even can make it work like Total Commander in the settings. But I learned it by its default settings, and I like those. Well, most of the default settings. So yeah, I'll let this scan, and I guess I've got myself into it now. So here in a minute, I'm gonna just leave it scanning unless it finishes all of a sudden, but I'll probably leave it scanning and go get my bath, you know, and all that stuff. Oh, I hate that. Get my bath, I'll be getting ready for bed, and I'll be having to look at it, and I won't be resting until I know it's done. And if it doesn't finish before I need to go to bed, then I'll wake up and I'll go, you know, and I'll say, okay, is it done? You know, I hate that. I hate scanning things over when I'm going to bed because I don't really rest well. I wake up in the middle of the night, and I just can't resist coming over here and looking, you know, even though I'm so tired I'm about to fall down. But that's what I do. So anyway, let me check my sound while I'm thinking about it. I haven't checked it in a while. And what was the other thing I said I was going to do here? So I'm doing that. Oh, I did check that. I just asked myself that question and looked it up. Okay. Yes, it does. Grub overwrites it. Grub writes into MBR. Okay. Now then, Okay, scanning the Win 7 drive with ClamAV. Yeah, I was thinking I'm ready to do it. Now I'm back to not only back to backing things up, but now I'm scanning again. But I mean, after realizing, I thought, no, I want to do that. So look at my little list again. Yes, I'm scanning that. MBR, yeah, closed that. Okay. Yeah, so since Grub writes to the MBR, it'll rewrite it, and I thought it did, but I couldn't remember. So that will that just automatically makes sure that you know, if there was anything that bad that got itself into your MBR, then Grub will write it. Because the thing about malware and Trojans that can get into your right into your MBR, they have to be really small, so they might just be a downloader or something. But a Trojan downloader or something like that. But they stay through like a normal reinstallation. I mean, can I think? I think there might even be more than one way that something can do something like that. But well, for instance, it was a problem with Windows XP because you could reformat and it would just come back because it was hiding in the MBR. I don't think that there's anything that could write any other places besides the MBR. See, there's other areas of the hard drive that, you know, where the firmware for the hard drive is written to make it operate, and I don't believe, I was trying to remember if there's one other area where somebody figured out a way to write malware into there. But if you get you can't see that. Let's see. You can't really see that in programs like gparted. They'll do partitioning and all that stuff. But there's some other programs. Well, there's plenty for Windows, but there's some for Linux that I use. Test disk. I think you can see those areas with. Is a test disk the one? I think test disk is the one where you can actually change the configuration, like the cylinders, how many. I'm so tired I can't remember, but anyway, you can break them real quick. I've fixed them once or twice, but I've broken them a couple of times too, trying to fix them when they didn't actually didn't have anything wrong. You can read on the sticker of the hard drive, and it'll tell you how many cylinders per this per that it has, and then you can look in an app like Test Disk, and if it's not showing up right, then you can correct it and fix the drive. A lot of times it can't be recognized by a machine or something, but you can also look at that wrong and figure it out wrong, and you can break them. I've done that. And if they're being recognized by your system, then you probably don't need to do that. Anyway, so I've got one that I broke, and I always think I'm going to try again to fix it. I kept trying to fix it after I broke it, and I never could get it to be recognized again. Sometimes they do that because of the hardware failure, though. And I think that could be the case with that one. I can't really remember. But so, yeah, I'm not as close as I just thought. I was right there ready to do it, but I wasn't as close as I thought. So, yeah, there's my new list, full already. Just started writing it an hour or so ago. And that was just the things I thought I'd write. I didn't think of them while I was eating or anything. I actually just kind of relaxed and watched a couple of videos while I ate. But then it just all started coming to me after I got done eating when I was getting ready to start this video. Things come to me, sometimes one here, one there, and sometimes the whole, 5 or 6 things just come to me right in a row like that. And I've been trying to think, how many days have I been trying to remember all this stuff, and then suddenly it pops in my head. I guess everybody does that one way or another. But Yeah, I don't know. Just when I think this, this one of these scans will take hours and hours, it might just take another 30, 40 minutes. This drive doesn't have a huge amount of data. You saw, I was looking through it. It doesn't have a whole lot of files on it. It's just the operating system. That's why at first I thought, well, I'm not going to scan the operating system, but since I don't want it, but now then I got to thinking, well, from a standpoint of making sure the files that any of my personal files, making sure they're clean enough to copy out of there, I thought I better just scan the whole partition, the whole drive. So that's what I'm doing, even though it is going to take longer than I'd like. It's in Windows System files now, Windows System 32. Right there, it tells you where it's at in the deal files, all the dreaded deal files. Half the time, 10 or 20 of them will be infected when you got an infected system. But so I'm too tired to even care now. So hopefully I won't regret starting this scan at this point in the day. But well, I mean, if it really did take a long time, even though I hate it, it's still better. I mean, I'd much rather let it scan all night if it's going to take a long time than to sit here waiting on it all day, trying to fiddle around and do other things, knowing that I'm waiting on it and it's stopping me from going on with what I'm wanting to do. So it really is better to go ahead and do it at night if that's the way it's going to be, I mean, if it's got to be done, it's going to take a while. So I'm going to go ahead and get my bath and just go to bed. It's 4:55 now, and I'm just so tired. Eyes are stinging now. No, I've been on here all day ever since. I can't remember. I washed clothes this morning. I got a lot done this morning. I had my clothes all washed and 2 loads of clothes and put away by 10:30. I remember looking up and seeing it was 10:30 a.m. and I thought, wow, I did a lot today, so early, So, plus I was, in between that, I was on the computer, already. I got on just as soon as I got done with breakfast. I got up at 4, well, I really didn't get up till 5, I think, but woke up at 4:30. And by the time I got up and got moving around, so anyway, so say I was done with breakfast by 6:30, probably, something like that. Maybe even 6. Then I was on the computer from then on, so no wonder I'm tired and my eyes are stinging. All right. Well, I'm going to go and tomorrow I'll try to hopefully I'm going to quit saying what I'm going to do. I'll just get a little further along. All right. Well, this done. I'll be back later. Okay.